Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 559 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. We've got a ton of rumors that have been going around about the DC films, DCEU, whatever have you, DC properties in general, and about the big screen, the small screen on HBO Max. We don't know yet, but I think it's all about the big screen for now. But anyway, there are a lot of DC content, and I want to talk about that. But before that, though, there's a few things that came out. One is an update about the Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon, but we also have something cool. Something cool that's a movie that's already coming out, and that is Wonder Woman 1984. Yes, Wonder Woman 1984. That's right. It's still coming out. Remember that movie? Yeah, it's been delayed several times, but hopefully we will get to see it this year. Wonder Woman 1984, it's got some cool new images that came out. So this is posted by Wonder Woman News, Wonder Woman 84 HQ. Incredible new Wonder Woman 84 images. Here is gal Diana Prince, Wonder Woman herself, in between two trucks, it seems. Here's her in her armor, and then also her grabbing or just blocking, Barbara Minerva. Almost kind of looks like that Batman v Superman. I know you're like, don't do that, but yeah, it's kind of like holding holding Batman or Superman from hitting him. And that's very similar to that. Also, some more images over here as well. So, well, it's very exciting. And at this point, I kind of just want to see it already. And I know there's some cheetah images going around. I don't know if they're official. I don't want to get copyright strikes, so I'll probably not share that. But there are, if you look carefully, if you search carefully, you can probably find some cheetah images around. Very blurry cheetah images and cheetah toys, but I don't know if that's supposed to be officially out. So there you have it for that, right? So, but other things that's come up is the whole Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon situation, right? We've every other day Ray Fisher's been tweeting out something about Joss Whedon and even some of the victims as well. And he even went on Instagram to talk. It was a live chat. I think it's not saved, but he did talk about a little bit. But he's a little bit under NDA in terms of things. It's quite unclear what he can or cannot say, but he can't get into specifics. But that it's possible more things will come out, in regards to this. And we gotta say a little bit of help from Kevin Smith, actually, from we're able to get a little bit more out about Joss Whedon, right? So this is an article from Screen Rants. Joss Whedon trash talked Zack Snyder on Justice League set, claims Kevin Smith. Okay, so this is according to Kevin Smith. He was on his Fat Man Beyond show. Now director and famous geek Kevin Smith is adding to the story through his show Fat Man Beyond in discussion of Fisher's comments about Whedon's behavior. Smith recalls a time when he visited the set of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and talked with a special effects guy who had worked on both Snyder's Justice League and Whedon's, as Smith tells it here. Remember when I went to the Skywalker set, some people had worked on both versions of Solo and both versions of Justice League. The special effects guy said there was a fair amount of trashing Zack's version of the movie on set by Joss that Whedon would cut down, dismiss, and be negative about Zack's version, which he had seen and all these people had made together without him. What an unprofessional dude! What a classy dude! What a damn fucking moron, crappy director! Jesus, I'm like, just imagine that. Being this douchebag, right? This douchebag right here, coming on to another person's movie that Zack Snyder worked on He left because his daughter died. And what do you do? What do you do? This dickwad comes on set and starts trashing the movie, someone else's project, and like that's how I don't have enough curse words to call this motherfucker out. He is a douche. He is a dickwad. He is the scum of the earth. Joss Whedon, if this is true, and it seems like this is true, it does seem like this is true because Ray Fisher says, God bless that Kevin Smith. Because Ray Fisher was there on set and he probably heard all this stuff, right? What a bully, what a dude, what I am blown away by this. What human being would come onto someone else's love project, a project filled with love, filled with passion, and had to leave because of circumstances between the studio and his personal reasons to come on and trash someone else's work on set? That's disgusting. This disgusting creature. I am so glad he's gone, and I'm so glad that he probably will not have a great career after this. I hope more come out in terms of this douchebag, right? This fucking asshole, okay? I stand with Ray Fisher. I 100% stand with Ray Fisher. Some things are more important than self-preservation, accountability over entertainment. And I got your back, just like Shiraz right there. I got your back, man. This guy, this dude, he's already down, but he's going down further, man. Like, I hope more people come out and talk about that guy, or more things come out in the light. Hell, man, I think Gal Gadot, since we were talking about Wonder Woman, after Wonder Woman 1984, I hope she sings like a canary, sings out loud to say what kind of asshole this guy was on Justice League. So, but I'm really glad this is coming to light. This is something that is unacceptable, and it's something that, you know, really, in terms of like just professionalism, it's I can't believe that something like this transpired on set. You know, I mean, we already knew this asshole here took the job, right? Because the studio said, you know, we need you to do something about it, right? And we gave him the benefit. Well, a lot of us gave it, even myself, gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was just trying to do his job. He's just trying, you know what, maybe I can save it, maybe, and work on it and stuff like that. No, you had to go on set and crap on another director's work. One, the fucker said yes. Two, the fucker trashed or teased Zack Snyder's work, and probably did a lot more crappy ass things on set as well. So yeah, fuck this guy. But anyway, so that was a little bit more update on the Ray Fisher, Joss Whedon situation. Sorry, it just upsets me at no end, and I really hope that more things come out about that. Yes, accountability over entertainment. Ray Fisher is sticking his neck out there. Let's make it count. Let's bring justice to these cast and crew. For all of the injustices that Joss Whedon, John Berg, and Jeff Johns has done to that. So anyway, let's get into some fun stuff. I mean, it could be fun. Rumor mill time. Rumor. Zatanna movie in development? What? What? Now I gotta admit, this is better than thinking like like it's gonna be Elastic Man or Plastic Man. Sorry, Plastic Man, Elastic Man fans out there. I think one day you will have that movie, but right now, apparently, again, this is a rumor. According to DCU Mythic by Conrad, Warner Brothers has begun development on a Zatanna movie. Okay, so according to him, he's hearing that Zatanna is on her way to the big screen after a lot of speculation over the last couple of years. Because, as you know, 2 years ago, Deadline reported that Warner Brothers was talking about doing movies based on Supergirl, Batgirl, and Zatanna. This may be important later on, so remember that. And so the recent Michael Keaton news mentioned that the Batgirl movie is still coming, but there's been doubt lately over the Supergirl movie. Rumors are swirling that Warner Brothers really wants J.J. Abrams for Superman, which would probably put Supergirl on the back burner, and that would open up another spot on the slate for Zatanna. So as we know, Bad Robot is working on a Justice League Dark project for HBO Max. And so they're saying this, or he's saying this is separate from that, but they are, but they're likely there's other members of Justice League that might also head to the big screen, in because of that Justice League Dark. Are you confused yet? Are you confused yet? I kind of am as well, but not really. I mean, this is the multiverse that's going on. So any movie doesn't have to be connected to anything, could literally just come out, and it's okay. It doesn't cancel one project or the other, unless you have the mind of Jeremy Conrad. But anyway, I digress. The next thing, another rumor. Batman Beyond movie is in development, and we are kind of talked about this as well, but a little bit more insight onto this as well. This is coming from Night Edge. Warner Bros. Putting Batman Beyond and, of course, the Zatanna into active development. Earlier today, their friends over at DC Mythic revealed that Warner Bros. Is considering a live-action Zatanna movie. Okay, so this will be separate from the Justice League Dark series, as they're being told. We also have learned from our friend Daniel Rickman, or Daniel RPK, on his Patreon that the studio is also putting into development a Batman Beyond movie. This makes sense since the studio is looking to recast Michael Keaton in the role of a much older Bruce Wayne in Flashpoint. It makes sense to also consider Batman Beyond has Bruce Wayne is no longer Batman in that timeline, but his successor, Terry McGinnis, is. So that's another rumor that's going around for that, which, I'm excited for Batman Beyond. I think that would be a cool ass movie. And I'm really wondering, how far are they going to go into Batman Beyond? Is it really Batman Beyond, or is it like a Batman Beyond inspired? But that's not all, folks. Another rumor, Constantine movie is in development. Okay, so this is coming from the DCU direct exclusive Constantine movie in development at Warner Brothers. Oh, exclusive. DC has been channeling the essence of its heroes of late, answering the calls of its fans for more superhero news. And in light of all the other situations, Batman Beyond, Michael Keaton, Zatanna, they're hearing, according to a reliable source with industry knowledge, a live-action Constantine movies in development at Warner Brothers, with Bad Robot serving as the production company and J.J. Abrams attached as a producer. Now, this is interesting because in the other one, they just said that it was not going to be Zatanna is not going to be connected to Justice League Dark, but apparently, if this is Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams, then this might actually be connected to Justice League Dark. I don't know. But even more so is the fact that, according to that DC Direct, but I'm going to throw this one on because Boss Logic made an incredible artwork, even though we already seen it. It's Keanu Reeves. There is some talk, actually, rumors that they are trying to talk to Keanu Reeves to reprise his role as Constantine, as John Constantine. He plays a lot of Johns. John Wick is one of them, and they're both badass. I did enjoy the Constantine movie. It's one of my favorite, one of my absolute favorite Keanu Reeves movies, and I think it's because the things he does in that movie, right? Whatever, when he goes in, has the cat and gets shocked, or anything, even down to exorcism and stuff like that, he just makes it look like he's been doing it for decades, just like his character, like he's that tired heroic, but I don't want to really want to do this, but I know how to do this and I gotta do this. That he plays that super well, just like being John Wick. He plays that super well. He's not like fumbling, like he's just started to do this. Like he's, when you watch him on screen, you can see that he's been doing Constantine stuff for a long time. I know he probably doesn't look like Constantine, but just like Barry Allen, so far we haven't had a blonde Barry Allen, so it's okay. It's not a big deal to me, but I really enjoyed Keanu Reeves as John Constantine. So if this is happening, I'm all for it. I'm all for Keanu Reeves to come back as John Constantine, because I think he's a badass character, right? So is that it? Is that it for the rumors? Well, apparently not. Well, there's one more. Maybe two more. Rumor: Justice League Rebirth movie in development. What is going on? Now, this is coming from our favorite favorite person, Jeremy Conrad. Warner Brothers is in development on a Justice League Rebirth film, and it goes through this blah 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 blah. And to the actual news here, I've learned today that Warner Brothers has begun development on a Justice League Rebirth film, which is separate from the Snyder Cut and not a continuation of that Justice League story. This movie is live action and it is not animated, right? And when you read this now, and I'll go this a little further, keep this in mind when you're reading these articles. Keep a lot of this in mind when you read them. So I'll come back to that. But he wants to tell us a little bit about how this is going to be a rebirth and the Snyder Cut and things like that. It's amazing because all these people know comic books, right? I mean, it's DCEU Mythic. I think he knows comic books, right? I mean, how does nobody understand the concept of multiverse now? Multiverse means everything from Christopher Reeve to Batman Returns, whatever. They're all canon. Anybody can make anything. Nothing is rebooting anything else, right? Unless it's specifically trying to do that. But I don't think so. Every universe is its own. HBO Max, Warner Media is definitely protecting Zack Snyder on this. So that part is really Jeremy Conrad's own speculation and his utter hate for the Snyder Cut. So, but that's another rumor, okay? So keep up with me. There's a little bit more to go. Actually, one more to go before I get through those rumors once again through a different perspective. Okay, so the next one is Batman Beyond inspired with Batgirl. The hell am I talking about? Well, this is coming from Grace Randolph, and this is, she's just kind of in a response to all the DCEU rumors, including the one that just came out today, which was the Justice League Rebirth. She says this: I hear today's DC rumors are off. Batgirl will be Batman Beyond. What? Which is why the trade said Michael Keaton would appear in that film. What? And while the DCU is going through some major changes, they are not planning a Rebirth film specifically. Okay? So what can we get from this, right? She did do a video today, and you can go ahead and check that out. In a way, she's saying that the new Batman Beyond will be not really Batman Beyond, but in a way it's inspired Batman Beyond. But instead of Terry McGinnis, Bruce Wayne is going to be training Batgirl. Yeah, training Batgirl. Now, I always want to add, that's kind of cool because that's its own thing. That's not really Batman Beyond. Like I said, it's probably inspiring different things. We all know Christina Hodson was supposed to be writing Batgirl, so I don't know if she's still involved with that or not. Or what does it mean? Maybe they're making Terry McGinnis a female? I don't know. Like I said, these are all rumors for now, and I'm thinking we'll probably get more rumors, a lot more rumors as we get towards DC fandom, where DC fandom is going to present us with the actual facts of what is going to be in development, right? For all we know, all these things could be ideas the studio heads are throwing around to get people excited and see what sticks, So we don't really quite know. So that will lead me into about those rumors. Okay, there's a lot of things we have to take into factor about those rumors, right? So, but I'll let journalists explain this away. First is Stephen Colbert. He says, pro tip: learn how entertainment news articles are structured and how to separate background news and editorialization. Also, keep an eye out for language to indicate opinion versus fact. This seems basic to me, but people always freak out at the editorialization in rumor reports. Now, I gotta admit, back in the day, I would report on rumors and not read it thoroughly. But thank you so much to Steven, people like Garza, even Dave, how to read it correctly. Even Scott, McKellen, Timmy Okashira, you guys help me out. Thank you so much. And you can also kind of see that in new light. So let's go back to this, right? Remember this article by Jeremy Conrad. While fans are excited to see Zack Snyder's Justice League, blah, 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 he's just talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League because he's putting that into context of what he's trying to say. And then he's talking about how this is going to be separate from the Snyder Cut. There is only one line in here that you could look at that is actually new, and that is this. I've learned today that Warner Brothers has begun development on a Justice League Rebirth film, which is separate from the Snyder Cut and not a continuation of that Justice League story. This movie is live action, is not anime. Like I said, stop. That's it. That's all that is new. That's all that is new. When you read through this other stuff, these are all just his own speculation, his own opinion, and obviously his own bias, because over here is obviously this is going to be disappointing for one segment of the fan base who had hoped that Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max would lead to a sequel to that and continuation of that storyline. But Warner putting a new separate Justice League into development means they are moving on to a new future of the DCU, and it really does seem like they have a plan for it now, because I have to win, because I was wrong about the Snyder Cut, because I hate the Snyder Cut, I hate the Snyder Cut fanboys, and I have to be right. So, yeah. So that's what, right? So this is the opinions. These are the opinions of speculation. There's really only one thing new about that today. So, like Steven says, please read carefully. Don't go in looking at the headline and not reading in detail, and please read carefully. But I want to go further because someone else, Mark Hughes, has a nice giant, and I'm just going to read it to you because it's awesome, okay? And maybe it gives you a better, clearer picture to read about afterwards, after this. Not saying that the rumors may or may not be true, but there are certain things being ideas, like I said, thrown around that could lead to some being true later on or not. No, there is not an official announcement of a new rebooted Justice League. Official and confirmed don't apply to fan sites and media sites reporting something without studio or artists saying it's true. This rumor has been around for a year and every so often pops up again with an update. The same game plays out every time. Fan sites repeat rumor, and 2 or 3 etc. years later, if anything resembling the rumor eventually happens, they claim they broke the news. They'll keep bringing this up, and eventually, since Warner Brothers will make a new JL someday, they'll say we were right. I know that plenty of folks at various levels at studios or casting firms or PR offices hear rumors all the time about tentpole and franchise projects, so sites hear this stuff nonstop, while the sources know it's relatively safe bet to pass along that type of broad rumor. Has Warner Brothers talked about doing a new JO? Of course they have. Constantly since 2017. Have they talked about J.J. Abrams possibly doing it? Probably, since they talk about him doing almost every damn thing. Talk and what if, etc. happens all the time. It doesn't make it actually in development. And with something like Justice League, of course Warner Brothers wants to figure out a plan to get it up and running sooner rather than later, and talk and plan always ways to achieve that. So is Justice League a priority? Generally speaking, sure. It's a huge IP, and that makes it a priority. It doesn't mean there's true movement. Has Warner Brothers probably talked about doing another JL almost every time any other DC movie is being talked about and planned? Sure. Is it possible Warner Brothers might right now have a newly started idea and plan to reboot Justice League? Sure. Might J.J. Abrams wind up involved? Sure. It's all obvious possible stuff, but it's stuff we've all heard repeated endlessly by fans and talked about precisely because it's obvious someday there will be another Justice League. And every other DC movie has inherent implications for future DCEU and Justice League. And Abrams has been on the DC radar before and now has a deal with Warner Brothers, etc. It's akin to predicting Marvel wants to make a new Avengers movie with a new roster of heroes facing a new villain, and that they're looking at some of their favorite filmmakers whom they have had great relationships with. Also, Captain Marvel and Spider-Man will be in it. Duh! Claiming it's in development, early stages, and things can change and take with a grain of salt provides a buffer, since it's still likely that this stuff was indeed talked about by someone at some point at the studio, and sites can claim they can't admit it now to dismiss denials. Because often all those qualifiers and skepticism about denials are indeed true to varying degrees. But that's why it's so effective to promote rumors. Get credit if something similar winds up happening, but easy excuses if the rumor turns out to be utter bullshit. Sometimes it's fan sites making shit up and pretending to have sources. Other times it's sites getting fake info from obviously hoaxers seeking attention, but they run it anyway. Sometimes it's sites getting bogus info from actual studio industry folks with grudges or other motives. So the source for such rumors varies. But the constant is sites and media so eager for anything to get readership clicks, they'll run a story without critically assessing the claims. They know fans want this stuff, and many fans don't care if it's fake. They just enjoy the momentary thrill. As long as fans eat it up, other sites report it too, and it generates ad revenue and attention. This cottage industry of rumor mongering will continue, but it's also true that in this business, if you do get a tip like a new Justice League is in development, then it's hard not to run it. It's hard not to run it. But too many sites run rumors without critical, skeptical tone, and they say, look how often we reported correct things. Often, usually this is an exaggeration or an outright lie for some sites to lend credence to the rumor, even while posturing with grain of salt references. And I'm not at all interested in stupid, childish beef between sites or prominent personalities in fandom, etc. I only care if shit's true or not, and whether artists, studios, characters, fandom are treated fairly and honestly. This is isn't personal about anyone. It's just a widespread thing. Let me add, to avoid being disingenuous, yes, I've heard occasional rumors and word of conversations at Warner Brothers, AT&T, and DC about doing a new Justice League, and I know some of the info was definitely true, but I also know talking and spitballing and expressing ideas, preferences is common. Most of this was pure speculative, hypothetical stuff. Sometimes there was seriousness to the discussions, but nothing came of it. That a few times the ideas and discussions went beyond a single comment or moment. And I do know Warner Brothers is actively getting several IP ready for announcement, but there are many moving parts now because of the AT&T acquisition. because of HBO Max, because of the unexpected changing situation with COVID-19, because of changes to leadership, because of the fact DCU plans have been up in the air and are still evolving, etc., etc., etc. So how long it takes for anything to get serious momentum and turn into a real thing, the definition of which is getting harder to pin down nowadays due to the aforementioned factors, is hard to say. And which projects survive depends on which conform best and fastest. All right. Perfectly well said, Mark Hughes and Stephen Colbert in a much shorter sentence, but it's pretty much, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We have to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of these things could have been just a single paragraph, single sentence at some meeting saying, hey, let's do a Justice League movie, right? There's no actual confirmations until official confirmations, like the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, things like that. Or let's just wait till DC Fandom. Is it fun to talk about this? Hell yes, it's fun to talk about this, because anything could really happen at this moment, but nothing is confirmed for any of those things. The only real thing that's actually real Justice League movie that is absolutely happening is next year. Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out 2021, and we'll probably have a teaser real soon before DC Fandom in August 22nd. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. And yeah, I will definitely see you next time.